And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the heart of the Inland Empire, right here in sunny Southern California, it's Robert Cardoza Live, where we talk about politics, money, and you. This is the intersection of business and politics. And now here's your host, Robert Cardoza.
And welcome aboard. I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And we have got another one of those fantastic, informative shows for you today. And man, there is a lot going on. So we might as well just get right to it. I might as well just tell you, we're going to be talking about what's in the news, new legislation, the IRS loses. We're going to continue our news segment, and that's that tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey and the rest of the story. Today's story is Stairway to Heaven. You're not going to want to miss that. And then, of course, today I'm going to continue that little series I was doing, The Money Secrets of Multimillionaire Investors. You're not going to want to miss that. And then right after that, we'll have Joel Saltzman, Dr. Wireless, is going to be here. He's going to be talking about wireless technology news and all the things that are going on, that are hot and heavy going on, including, the CIA's ability to listen in to us on our smart telephones and televisions and things. So we talk about all those things. You're not going to want to miss any of it. But right now, I want you to know that at 3:01 p.m. Pacific time, it's currently 81 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. That's down from 84 degrees, which was the high. And it's on its way down to 52 degrees, which will be the low. But it's just an absolutely drop-dead gorgeous day outside. Blue skies and just calm and beautiful. But talking about calm and beautiful, that's not what the news is. Let's talk about what's in the news. Ryan pushes for unity as the House panels debate the GOP health bill. House Speaker Paul Ryan labored to rally divided fellow Republicans behind their high-stakes drive to overhaul the nation's healthcare system. And he was doing that today, praising his party's legislation as what good conservative healthcare reform looks like as lawmakers cast Congress's first votes. Republican leaders wanted to push their measure through two House committees by week's end. Now, Ways and Means and Energy and Commerce. But they hit a torrent of resistance from Democrats who opposed the 7-year GOP effort to unravel former President Barack Obama's health care law. Outnumbered Democrats used the panel sessions for political messaging Wednesday, or today I should say, furtively offering amendments aimed at preventing the bill from raising deficits, kicking people off coverage, or boosting consumer out-of-pocket costs. They even tried unsuccessfully to insert language pressuring President Donald Trump to release his income tax returns. Got a fat chance. The pivotal challenge for Republican leaders was coming not from Democrats, but from rebellion in their own ranks and potent outside groups. If that upheaval should snowball and crush the legislation, it would be a shattering defeat for Trump and the GOP. So leaders were hoping passage by both House committees this week would bolster them with momentum. Just as ominous as GOP unrest was hostility from three organizations instrumental in the 2010 enactment of Obama's overhaul: the American Medical Association, the American Hospital Association, and AARP, the nation's largest advocacy group for older people. In words aimed at his own resident colleague, Ryan, the Republican from Wisconsin, declared the legislation is bold and it is long overdue, and it is us fulfilling our promises. The last was a nod to campaign pledges by Trump and many GOP congressional candidates. There were signs of growing White House engagement. We'll see what we're going to, we're just going to see what happens. There's going to be a lot going on here, and it's not going to be pretty. I'll tell you that. Not going to be pretty at all. Well, WikiLeaks is at it again. Is WikiLeaks really a news company, or are they just an anti-American company? I wonder. Will WikiLeaks work with tech firms to defeat the CIA hacking? Well, you know what? Your bet's as good as mine. The anti-secrecy group WikiLeaks raised the prospect today of sharing sensitive details it uncovered about CIA hacking tools with leading technology companies whose flagship products and services were targeted by government's hacker spies. If that sharing should take place, the unusual cooperation would give companies like Apple, Google, Microsoft, Samsung, and others an opportunity to identify and repair any flaws in their software and devices that were being exploited by U.S. spy agencies and some foreign allies, as described in nearly 9,000 pages of secret CIA files that WikiLeaks published on Tuesday. The documents, which the White House declined anew today to confirm as authentic, describe clandestine methods for bypassing or defeating encryption, antivirus tools, and other protective security features for computers, mobile phones, and even smart TVs. They include the world's most popular technology platforms, including Apple's iPhones and iPads, Google's Android phones, and Microsoft Windows operating system for desktop computers and laptops. This is the kind of disclosure that undermines our security, our country, and our well-being, White House spokesman Sean Spicer said. This alleged leak should concern every single American. Spicer defended then-candidate Donald Trump's comment in October of 2016, "I love WikiLeaks," after it published during the presidential campaign private politically damaging emails from Hillary Clinton's campaign manager. Spicer said there was a massive difference between WikiLeaks publishing stolen personal emails of a political figure and files about national security tools used by the CIA. The CIA has declined to confirm that the documents are authentic, but today the agency said Americans should be deeply troubled by the disclosure. Boy, I'll say, this is really dangerous stuff. This is not news. This is dangerous stuff. That's what we got to be talking about here, Well, you know what? Women go on strike in the United States to show their economic clout. Many American women stayed home from work, joined rallies, or wore red today to demonstrate how vital they are to the United States economy, as International Women's Day was observed with a multitude of events around the world. The Day Without a Woman protest in the United States was put together by organizers of the vast women's marches that drew more than 1 million Americans the day after President Donald Trump's inauguration. The turnout on the streets this time was much smaller in many places, with crowds often numbering in the hundreds. There were no immediate estimates of how many women heeded the call to skip work. Trump is terrifying. His entire administration, they have no respect for women or our rights, said 49-year-old Adina Ferber, who took a vacation day from her job at an art gallery to attend a demonstration in New York City. They need to deal with us as an economic force. The United States event, inspired in part by the Day Without an Immigrant protest held last month, was part of the United Nations designated International Women's Day. In Warsaw, thousands of women showed Poland's conservative government red cards and made noise with kitchenware and demand full birth control rights, respect, and higher pay. In Rome, hundreds of women marched from the Colosseum to demand equal rights. Thousands marched on Istanbul despite restrictions on demonstrations imposed since last year's failed coup. Turkish police did not interfere. Women also held rallies in Tokyo and Madrid. Germany's Lufthansa airline arranged for 6 all-female crews to fly into Berlin. Sweden's women's soccer team replaced the names on the backs of their players' jerseys with tweets from Swedish women. Finland announced a new $160,000 International Gender Equality Prize. Well, that's what's in the news so far. We're halfway through it. When we come back, we're going to talk about the probe sought after the Associated Press report on church abuse allegations. I'm going to tell you all about that after these brief messages. Stick with us. We got a lot more coming up right after these brief messages.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchase high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And we're talking news, but first, at 3:12 p.m. Pacific time, it's now 81 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. It's down from 84 degrees on its way down to 52 degrees. A bit later, I'll give you the weather in our globally syndicated networks that are listening to us. But right now, let's talk about the news. There's a probe sought after the Associated Press report on church abuse allegations. A district attorney has asked the state to investigate two assistant prosecutors after an Associated Press story that quoted former congregants of a North Carolina church as saying that the men derailed criminal probes into allegations of abuse by sect leaders. David Lerner said today that he wants the State Bureau of Investigation to look into the accusations against his employees who are members of the Evangelical Word of Faith Fellowship Church. The Associated Press story, released Monday, cited 9 former Word of Faith members who said Frank Webster and Chris Back provided legal advice, helped at strategy sessions, and participated in a mock trial for 4 congregants charged with harassing a former member. The ex-congregants also said that Back and Webster, who is sect leader Jane Wally's son-in-law, helped derail a social services investigation into child abuse in 2015 and attended meetings where Wally warned congregants to lie to investigators about abuse incidents. Well, this is long overdue, said Rick Cooper, a United States Navy veteran who spent more than 20 years as a congregant at Word of Faith and raised 9 children in the church. I'm glad they're finally taking this seriously. During the January 1st, 2013 mock trial for the 4 members, Jeffrey Cooper, an attorney who is one of Rick Cooper's sons, said Wally and other ministers watched Back play the familiar role of a prosecutor trying to trip up defendants during cross-examination. 3 of the defendants eventually were acquitted and charges were dropped against the 4th. Nathan Key, a spokesman for Lerner, said in an email that Webster and Back will keep working during the investigation, but did not say if they would continue to prosecute cases. He did not respond to follow-up questions. Yeah, you know what? People only go after the things that they're directly interested in, it looks like. Let's talk about this. Islamic State gunmen, excuse me, in white lab coats kill 30 in a Kabul hospital. Gunmen wearing white lab coats stormed a military hospital in Afghanistan's capital today, killing at least 30 people and wounding dozens in an attack claimed by the Islamic State group. The attack on the 400-bed military facility located near 2 civilian hospitals in Kabul's heavily guarded diplomatic quarter set off clashes with security forces that lasted several hours. The brazen assault reflected the capability of militant groups in Afghanistan to stage large-scale and complex attacks in the heart of Kabul, underscoring the challenges the government continues to face to improve security for ordinary Afghans. General Dwalt Waziri, a defense ministry spokesman, said that there were more than 30 killed and more than 50 wounded in the attack. Afghan forces battled the attackers floor by floor, he added. The ministry said that the attackers were dressed like health workers. Yeah, well, they're not dumb, right? They're just not going to just walk in. I guess they're not going to just walk in. Well, you know what? In her words, Casey Anthony talks to the Associated Press about Kaylee's death. Casey Anthony, the Florida woman accused, then acquitted of killing her 2-year-old daughter, spoke with the Associated Press 5 times over the week-long period. During the interviews, she talked about her love for her daughter, Kaylee Marie, and showed photos of her and artwork that she finger-painted. Anthony maintains her innocence in the death and insists she didn't know how the last hours of Kaylee's life unfolded. Well, the Associated Press said that you were convicted of one thing, and Anthony says, lying to the cops. People lie to the cops every day. Cops lie to people every day. I'm just one of the unfortunate idiots who admitted that they lied. And the Associated Press said, well, was the lying out of panic? And Anthony responded, my dad was a cop. You can read into that what you want. Then the Associated Press asked, touching on the convicted for lying, is there anything you regret with that? Would you rather get your story straight from the beginning? What didn't you keep straight? And Anthony responded, here's the problem. Even if I would have told them everything that I eventually told the psychologist who evaluated me, the 2 psychologists who evaluated me over the course of 3 years, I hate to say this, but I firmly believe I would still have been in the same place because cops believe other cops. Cops tend to victimize the victims. I've never tried to make myself a victim. I see why I was treated the way I was, even had I been completely truthful. Then the Associated Press said, well, what weren't you truthful about? And Anthony said, it was things that I didn't know at the time. And the Associated Press asks, about how she died? And Anthony says, I didn't know at the time. I'm still not even certain as to, as I stand here today, sure about what happened. So you know what? The Associated Press then asks, to your understanding, did she die? And Anthony says, I don't know. You know what? That's just one big, at least in my opinion. You know what? I don't know. But in my opinion, that's just one more great big lie after another one. This woman, in my opinion, and I don't know any more than you do, is just guilty as sin. And with that, we're going to take another short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the IRS Loses. And the first case that's up is lien rights are lost during a temporary lapse. I'm going to tell you all about this. It's a business win when we talk about it. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
The story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 3:23 p.m. Pacific time. It's currently 83 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Now it's saying that the high actually got up to 89. I don't know which one's true here, but it's on its way down now. It's even changed the low to 55. The weather just seems to be switching around all at once. But if you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you happen to be in New York City, well, it's 56 degrees and it's clear. If you're in Chicago, Illinois, listening to our program, it's 51 degrees and it's clear. So weather everywhere is looking pretty good. But right now, let's talk about something more pleasant. The IRS loses. First case up. lien rights are lost during a temporary lapse. Here's the deal. The IRS placed a lien on an investment real estate owned by a person who owed back taxes. Now, later, after negotiations over the tax bill, the IRS released the lien. Now, a friend of the property owner then made a loan to him of $117,000 that was secured by the real estate, believing that the tax claim had been settled. But soon after, the IRS revoked its release of its lien and refiled it at the courthouse. The lender sought a court ruling that her lien received priority. The IRS answered that it had filed its lien first. Well, they went to court. This is what the judge said. The lender obtained her secured interest in the property with no notice of the tax lien because it had been released at the time. So her lien gets priority. You know what? The IRS doesn't get to make up their own rules. They always try. How about this? The IRS loses. Tax papers remain confidential even after being shown to outside auditors. Here's the deal. While examining a company's taxes, the IRS issued a summons to the company's outside accountants who had audited it, demanding that they give over tax work papers of the companies that they held. The company argued that the work papers were privileged against the IRS because they were prepared with its lawyers in anticipation of litigation against the IRS. Well, the IRS replied that the confidentiality for the papers was lost when they were provided to the outside accountants. When they went to court, this is what the judge said. The papers were given to the accountants under a written confidentiality agreement, so they remained privileged against the IRS. The IRS knew that. You want to bet they didn't know that? Of course they knew that. Shame on them. Let me give you one little bit longer case, but you'll enjoy this. The IRS thought police lose out in the Supreme Court. Well, you know what? Michael Boulware was convicted of criminal tax evasion for taking large amounts of money out of a corporation that he controlled and giving it to his girlfriend while using money laundering schemes to hide the money from the IRS and his wife. Well, at trial, Boulware's lawyer argued that the money taken from the corporation was a tax-free return of capital that Boulware had previously contributed to it, since the business at the time had no earnings or profits from which to pay any taxable distributions. Both the trial court and Court of Appeals rejected this argument because there was no evidence that Boulware believed the money was tax-free when he took it. Rather, they said his belief in the crime, in the time that he was committing a tax crime, was evidence of the actual crime itself. So he went to the United States Supreme Court. Doesn't get any bigger than that. And this is what they said. They reversed this thing. If the money that Boulware had taken was in fact tax-free, he can't be convicted for mistakenly believing that he was taking taxable money. In fact, the IRS itself frequently argues that substance trumps belief in the reverse situation. When owners take distributions from corporations that they believe to be tax-free, but which the IRS deemed to be taxable dividends. The tax code requires that tax liability be imposed on the basis of facts, wholly independent of the intent in such cases. Otherwise, the IRS could obtain a tax evasion conviction even when a defendant owed no tax. So, the conviction, you got it. It's overturned. That's the way it should be. Shame, shame, shame on the IRS. Well, you heard me talk about being a fly on the wall when the IRS does stuff. That's where we're at right now with this segment we call Inside the IRS. Is very much like the Twilight Zone. You know what? These are not tax court cases, but I tell you every day that the information is the most valuable commodity that you're ever going to have. And this is no different than that. It's just knowing what the IRS is doing, what they're thinking when they're doing things. Now, in this particular case, consider the statute of limitations when the IRS proposes to assess additional tax. You know what? The general rule is that the IRS must assess additional tax within 3 years from the date of a personal tax return, the actual filing of it. Now, two important exceptions exist here. If you understated your gross income by more than 25%, then the IRS has 6 years to assess that tax. And if your original tax return claimed false deductions, or you intentionally failed to report income, then there's no statute of limitations, which means that the IRS can make you pay that extra tax, interest, and penalties whenever it catches up with you. But you need to fight back. If the IRS claims that your tax return is false or fraudulent, it is the IRS's burden to prove so. Make the IRS meet its burden by insisting, for example, that each item of income it claims that you did not report was really income and not gifts or loans in return of capital that are actually not income. And make the IRS prove that you failed to report the income fraudulently rather than just because of an honest mistake on your part or an error on the part of your tax preparer. It's really, really hard to prove tax fraud, I want to tell you. How about this? Winning the lottery and paying the income tax? You know what? It seems that any number of lucky individuals who've won millions of dollars in state-run lotteries acted recklessly when it came to paying tax on their winnings. Some lottery recipients have taken the tax position that they realized a tax-favored long-term capital gain when they sold their right to receive future annual installments in return for a discounted lump sum payment. Now, various courts have ruled against the lottery winners by adopting the substitute for ordinary income doctrine, which says that capital gains treatment is not available for what would otherwise be received at a future time as ordinary income. And let me leave you with this one. When you owe the IRS money and you've lost your job, well, you know what? The IRS does have the authority to place your tax debt in a currently non-collectible status. This essentially means that it'll not pursue collection activity. That's a levy on your bank account, for instance, because doing so would cause you to suffer financial hardship. For example, you'd not be able to pay the rent if the IRS collection person does not agree to this halt collection efforts. Then request a collection due process hearing. It's a CDP hearing, and you'll then have the opportunity to deal with the settlement officer in the appeals division who can reconsider the facts. Now, while the CDP request is pending, the IRS will not take enforced collection action. Now, this is really important. Make sure that you properly document your current financial position so that the settlement officer can justify a decision not to pursue collection. You always want to use a licensed professional when you're doing this. Don't try and do it on your own. Now, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, I am going to continue our series on money secrets of multimillionaire investors. You're going to enjoy this, so don't go away. We'll be right back with that.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. 468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson & Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson & Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson & Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson & Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 3:35 p.m. Pacific time. It's currently 83 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. If you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you're in Paris, France, well, first of all, you're lucky, but it's 54 degrees and it's overcast. It's also 12:35 in the morning, by the way, tomorrow morning. And if you're in Rome, Italy, it's 45 degrees and it's clear. It is the same time of the morning. You must be having a good time if you're listening to the show anyway. But right now, what I want to talk to you about are a continuation of the series that I started last week, and that's Money Secrets of Multimillionaire Investors. And right now, I want to talk to you just a little bit about painless ways to save. You know, for those people who are trying to stretch their cash, here are some easy suggestions on how to cut costs. First of all, let's talk about holiday turkeys. We all love those things, right? Well, frozen turkeys are much fresher than fresh turkeys are. And how is that possible? Well, modern equipment flash freezes the turkey within minutes of processing. Freezing does not change the taste or quality, and buying a frozen bird during turkey season saves you 50 to 75% of the cost of a fresh bird. Now, never pay for a name brand. While there are many major brands of turkey, most are processed at one of the 5 major turkey processing plants in the United States. You know, all they do is change the name. Well, how about gasoline? You know, you can earn free gasoline when you go grocery shopping. Large supermarket chains such as Kroger's, Mayer, Raley's, Randall's, and Tom Thumb now give vouchers for discounts at participating stations. How does it work? Well, purchase any of several hundred products whose brands participate in the Fuel Rewards program. With your receipt, you get a voucher for free gas. It is valid for 30 to 60 days, depending on the grocer. Here's some recent examples for you. At Kroger stores, buy 2 packages of Angel Soft double roll bath tissues and earn $1.25 in gas. 2 Mrs. Paul's frozen seafood entrees, select a variety, earn you $225 in gas. Now, take note, the actual products are going to vary. Their different stores have different items at different times. Now, for more information, contact Dallas-based Centego Marketing at 972-985-2500 or go to their website at www.fuelrewards.com. Well, let's talk about books. You know, booksfree.com is the place to go. Instead of paying retail or getting on long waiting lists for books at public libraries, you can choose from this Pay Library's great selection of books. It includes over 150,000 titles, fiction, nonfiction, audio, and children's books for a flat monthly fee. That's $9.99 for paperbacks and $22.49 for audiobooks. Each book can be purchased for up to 30% off the list price. How does it work? Well, you receive 2 books at a time through regular mail. There's no due dates, late fees, or shipping costs. When you finish, return the books in a prepaid mailer. You can cancel your membership at any time without paying a penalty. Again, the website is www.booksfree.com. There's an alternative, though. Buy new and used titles at half.com. That's half.com, a division of eBay for 50% to 70% less than retail stores. And you can go there at www.half.ebay.com. Well, let's talk about telephones. You know what? Cheap overseas calls. OneSuite.com at www.onesuite.com charges 2.2 cents per minute to the UK, 3 cents per minute to Germany. Now, callsense.com, that's KALLCENTS.com, or www.callsense.com, charges 6 cents per minute to Hong Kong. Now, you can buy minutes in advance and receive a toll-free access phone number. Now, you ever think about energy utilities? Use less hot water. Set your soap dispenser or soap dish on the left side of the sink in your kitchen and bathroom, as close to the hot water handle as possible. You, family members, and visitors will reach for the cold faucet handle automatically. Cool water is just as effective for cleaning your hands as the hot water. Just keep it in mind. Only it costs more to have a hot water. How about automobiles? You know what? Rent out your garage. You ever think about that? If parking spaces are at a premium in your neighborhood, you could collect $100 or more per month just for parking your own car on the street or in your driveway. Specify that the arrangement is for storage only, not work. No work can be done on the car there. Post a sign on your lawn or place an ad in your local newspaper. $100 a month? That's nothing. Matter of fact, New York might be more like $4,000 a month, maybe even higher. How about get the most from insurance claims? You ever think about it? Well, if a driver damages your car, you may be able to file a claim for diminution of value against his or her insurance company. You might have to provide photos, blue book values, appraisals, that kind of stuff, and check with your insurance agent. And the reason for this? Even though your car was repaired adequately, it has diminished resale value for which you may be compensated. So keep that in mind. When you've had an accident, that car is not worth the same thing it would have been worth just by aging. How about this? Easy ways to cut your expenses. You know, in virtually every part of our lives, we can find easy ways to reduce the cost of living. Housing, clothes, cars, and leisure activities all take a large portion of our paychecks. Even our pets cost money to feed and keep healthy. A little forethought can help us cut our expenses significantly without depriving us of anything that we really need. And don't think cutting out the small things won't help save money. Small savings actually compound over the years to produce big savings. Proven ways to cut costs and get the most for money that you must spend? Let's start off with housing expenses. Don't buy the most expensive home in the neighborhood if you're relocating. And don't improve your home so much that it becomes the fanciest one on the block. The money saver? Buy a multifamily dwelling and rent out the other units. That way, other people will be paying part or all of your mortgage costs. Alternative? Take in a boarder. Yeah, I know people that do that. If you purchase a condo, do not choose one in a brand new condominium community. The maintenance fee won't be predictable, and it could go way up. And obtain several bids on home repair and improvement projects. After seeing the best offer, ask the other bidders if they can do anything better. And if after deciding, try to negotiate a still better price with the chosen contractor. Well, breakdowns and crisis? Learn to make emergency repairs yourself. That way, if a water pipe suddenly bursts or your power fails, you'll be able to take swift action to prevent the problem from becoming worse and more expensive to fix. Buy the necessary fix-it books, tools, and supplies. That's what you really want to be doing. How about this? Make an inventory of all of your household possessions. And save receipts for all major purchases. Keep copies in your safe deposit box or your office. If disaster strikes, you'll be able to show the insurance company what you owned and how much it cost you. And how about this? Never, never, never assume that a broken appliance must be replaced by a new model. If you can't get it repaired under the warranty, spend a little to discover exactly what is wrong and how much it'll cost to make it usable. And if it can't be fixed, consider doing without it. Money and time saver? Keep all your warranties and owner's manuals in one file. Just get a binder and put 3 holes in all of these warranties and just attach them with into the binder there. How about clothing expenses? Think about it. Well, you know what? Find a good tailor who can alter garments that you can no longer wear because they are out of style or your size has changed. A good shoe repair person can extend the life of your shoes and buy clothes that do not require dry cleaning. And then time your purchases. Before buying any clothes, ask the salesperson if and when they will be going on sale. You'll be surprised. They will actually tell you. It's an amazing thing. They'll actually tell you. Now listen, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, I'm going to continue this series of money secrets of multimillionaire investors, and we're going to talk about shopping expenses. Yeah, we have those too. So don't go away. The first thing we're going to talk about is making a shopping list and making it worthwhile. So don't go away. We'll be right back with more of these secrets.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400 4900, or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 3:48 p.m. Pacific time. It's currently 83 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. It's on its way down to 55 degrees. And if you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you're in London, England, you lucky dog, it's 48 degrees and partly cloudy. And if you're in Vienna, Australia, listening to us, it is 34 degrees and also partly cloudy. Well, we're talking about the money secrets of multimillionaire investors, and right now we're talking about shopping expenses. And so let's get right to it. You know what? You need to make a shopping list. Set a spending budget before you go shopping for anything and stick to it. Here's the deal. Check classified ads and thrift stores for used furniture. The best buys are likely to be found in upper-class neighborhoods. And other furniture money savers, visit several discount furniture showrooms. Consider buying brand-name furniture by mail or over the internet, where some great bargains are actually available. And then shop for major appliances near the end of the month, the end of the quarter, or the end of the year. That's when sellers are most anxious to push the merchandise out the door and meet sales quotas or win awards. That's what they're doing. And then don't buy service contracts. God, you know, the seller expects to make money on those contracts, so premiums are set higher than the average purchaser is likely to spend on the repairs. That's just, you know what, most of the time they say this service contract, it's already got a 1-year warranty or a 90-day warranty, and they're selling you this contract, and this covers that same period of time. If something's going to go bad, it's probably going to go bad during that warranty, so don't worry about it. Here's the deal. Car expenses. Buy a good used car instead of an expensive new car. Now keep the car until it costs more to keep it running than to replace it. Here's a money saver for you. If you want a near new model, ask the dealer about a demonstrator car with a new car guarantee or a low mileage vehicle from a rental agency. If you must buy a new car, be sure to do your homework. Research all of the incentives available on different models that meet your needs. Shop around among different dealers and consider using an auto brokerage service to get the very best deal that's actually available to you. Now, here's a money saver for you. The best time to buy is at the end of the model year or at the beginning of the next model year, when the dealer is even more desperate to get rid of his or her old stock. They want to get that stuff off the lot. Well, keep your car in good shape so that it lasts longer. Check the levels of oil and other fluids weekly. Change oil according to the manufacturer's specifications, or even more often. And check tire pressure and condition very frequently. Choose the highest deductible that you can live with on your auto insurance. Reduce your premiums further by buying anti-theft devices, inquiring about discounts for low annual mileage or for taking a defensive driving course, or asking about discounts for student drivers with good grades or who are away at college. Here's another money saver for you. If your car is worth less than $2,000, drop the collision and or comprehensive coverage. It's not going to be worth it. How about this? Let's talk about some leisure and entertainment. You know, eat at home instead of going out. If you crave a change in diet, buy inexpensive takeout food. If you must go to a restaurant, choose an inexpensive one. Check the price range before you go. And when you eat out, don't order more food than you can eat. If you do, take it home. Don't order the most expensive dishes on the menu, for Pete's sake. Money saver? Split the dessert. Pretty more than you can eat by yourself anyhow. And better still, eat dessert at home. Drop memberships in clubs, you know, social, country, or athletic. You don't visit them frequently enough to really spend that kind of money. And watch out for book and music clubs, for Pete's sake. Don't join clubs that offer you 10 items for $1 or even for a penny. If you have to agree to buy more books at the club's regular prices, if you figure out the average price of all that's going to be required purchases, including postage and handling, it's likely to be higher than you would pay at a discount store. Instead, borrow books and music from your local public library, and then it's going to be free. Give that some thought. How about pets? Adopt a companion from an animal shelter instead of buying one at a pet shop. And choose a smaller animal. It requires less food than a bigger one. Buy generic pet food rather than expensive brand name food. You're getting the same quality. You're taking care of that loved pet. Don't worry about it. The name doesn't mean anything. Well, you know what? 5 reasons to splurge on a new car. There are. From strictly financial standpoint, it pays for most people to buy used cars, but 5 engineering improvements might make it worthwhile for you to consider a new model. First of all, safer brakes. Today, even mini economy cars have 4-wheel disc brakes, and the anti-lock brake systems are becoming common. Brake Assist, a new feature that further reduces stopping distances during emergency braking, is also being featured in family cars from Toyota, Volvo, and others. Brake Assist automatically applies full pressure to the system during an emergency stop if the driver fails to depress the brake pedal fully. This slows the car down much more quickly. And how about intelligent navigation systems? You know what? The latest in-car satellite navigation systems can direct you around traffic jams and help you find the best possible route to your destination. Real-time data about traffic conditions is uploaded into the system automatically every few minutes via the car's onboard satellite radio hookup. That data is compared against your planned route in the global positioning satellite. Not only that, navigation computers. If there's a bottleneck ahead, an alternate route is going to be displayed on that computer for you. And then, you know what? Bodies really that don't rust, the paint jobs that really last. Today's cars are so well protected against rust by multiple coats of protective undercoating and chip-resistant primers that body rot is becoming as rare a sight as a wood-paneled pacer. Now, engines that don't pollute? Well, at least 95% of the combustion byproducts of any newer model car is harmless water vapor and carbon dioxide. Several models from Ford, General Motors, Honda, Toyota, and Volvo qualify as ultra-low emissions vehicles, with virtually no harmful emissions. And then, you know what? Let's think about decent gas mileage. Even the worst offender, 2-ton V8 sport utility vehicles, can get mileage per gallon in the mid-teens on the highway. And American drivers no longer have to cram themselves into micro-sized subcompacts to get 30 miles per gallon. Vastly improved fuel economy with little difference in size, power, or performance can be credited to electronic fuel injection and the widespread use of overdrive transmissions. Both reduce engine operating speeds and, as a result, fuel consumption. Once a vehicle has reached road speed, 7-speed automobiles. Here's the deal. BMW and Mercedes-Benz and continuously variable transmissions on CVTs hold the promise to further mileage improvements. Now, CVTs deliver the fuel economy of a manual transmission with the ease of an automatic. That's the deal. Now, next week, as I continue telling you about the money secrets of multimillionaire investors, we're going to talk about, get this, how to travel free. Yeah, you can, and it's not as difficult as you think. It's not a pipe dream. I'll tell you all about it next week, so you want to make sure you tune in to me just prior to our own Dr. Wireless coming on. By the way, speaking of Dr. Wireless, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, Joel Saltzman, Dr. Wireless, is going to be with us. He's going to talk about all this new technology and how the CIA is actually able to eavesdrop on you through your smart telephone and television, and a lot more than that. We'll be right back, so don't go away.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson & Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson & Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson & Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson & Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4 p.m. Pacific time. It's currently 83 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. That's down from 88 degrees. On its way to 55 degrees as a low. If you happen to be in Flagstaff, Arizona, it's 60 degrees and it's clear. And if you're lucky enough to be in Torrance, California, it's 72 degrees clear. And you know what? You might have hung 10. Let's find out if our own Dr. Wireless did. Joel, you're on the air.
Robert, good afternoon. No, I didn't hang 10 today, but I did get my feet wet, so I guess that's half the battle.
Oh, you bet. You know, if you got your feet wet, you got all 10 of them wet, right?
I did. I did.
Boy, lots and lots of news. I mean, I just can't believe the stuff that's going on. And shockers. I don't know. You know, you don't even have to turn your TV on or your computer on or your phone on anymore. You never know.
Still listen to you.
Yeah, you never know who's listening, right?
Yep, I know, Robert, you're referring to what we heard today, the CIA WikiLeaks dump.
Yeah.
And in that revelation, we found out that the CIA is much more astute than we gave them credit for in terms of hacking devices. And the good news is there's nothing that we saw in there that indicate that they can do anything with the current iOS iPhone software. However, if you own a smart TV, be on the lookout, because Samsung in particular, some of their models were extremely vulnerable. Most of the models were capable of being hacked. And the scary thing is you can have your TV off, yet it's still listening to you, and the CIA could actually be listening to you from your TV while it's off.
Well, you know, the interesting thing, I read that if you have a Samsung TV that is within 10 years old, that technology is already in there.
Yeah, the technology's there. Fortunately, it can easily be turned off. Last week we talked about Vizio and how they had some information that was being captured and sent back to Vizio and how to turn that off. You can also do the same thing. In fact, we posted it on our Facebook page, facebook.com/DR Wireless. And we explained for LG, for Samsung, for Sony, for some of the more popular brands, how to disable that functionality, where not that our listeners are bad guys that have the CIA after them, but if you want to play it safe and make sure nobody's listening, it's not a bad idea to disable this functionality. The flip side is you need to make sure that you're getting updates, because they do software updates to improve things periodically. So that could conceivably disable that capability. So worth checking into. Anyhow, that's the least of our issues.
Did you ever read the book George Orwell's 1984?
Oh, yes. Classic.
It starts making you think, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, things are pretty dark lately, especially if you ask Microsoft, for example. Yesterday, their Outlook network went down completely. Today, Yahoo's network this afternoon went down completely. Things aren't as stable as they could be in this world of ours, unfortunately.
Now, and is that because somebody has attacked them?
I haven't researched it. In fact, the Yahoo issue about an hour ago, I was going to check my mail, and I noticed I couldn't connect to my server. So rather than check anything, I just Googled Yahoo email down, and sure enough, I wasn't the only person with that problem. So widespread issue, probably just to serve. A lot of times they do maintenance or have an issue or change a setting, and they don't realize it changes the whole network. But I'm not sure what the issue is. It may, in fact, I'll tell you right now, if she's back up. Yeah, it's back up now. So fortunately, it was just usually those things are short term. But today also, Robert, we're going to talk about iPhone 8 leaks. We've got some new information. We got Samsung S8 leaks. We got Nokia 8 leaks. I bet you didn't even know what a Nokia 8 is.
I never even heard of it.
Well, most people haven't. And hopefully we will. But Nokia looks like they're getting back into the game. Going to talk about 11 paid iPhone apps that are free this week as well.
Well, let's get to it.
There is just all kinds of stuff going on. I don't even know where to start. Why don't we start? I got something interesting. You know how we talk about T-Mobile and T-Mobile Tuesdays and how they do nice things for their subscribers?
Yeah.
If you have any Major League Baseball fans out there, I've got some fantastic news. Up until now, it's been pizzas, it's been Lyft rides, it's been movies, odds and ends, a free Frosty at Wendy's. These are all things that T-Mobile offers their subscribers on Tuesdays. And starting April 1st, and this is no April Fool's joke, I thought it might be, starting April 1st. Are you a baseball fan?
Not, you know what, World Series, but not really baseball.
All right, then you can stay with AT&T. They need you.
Okay.
But T-Mobile subscribers, listen up. Starting April 1st, you can go to T-Mobile Tuesdays, which is an application that can be downloaded on your iPhone or on your Android, free app. And if you go to that, on the West Coast, you have to go before 2 p.m. It's an East Coast thing, apparently. But if you go before 2 p.m., you can claim all kinds of neat stuff for free. And one of the neat things next month is going to be a free subscription to Major League Baseball online. This is something that sells for $100.
Wow.
And it's free for the asking with T-Mobile. All you got to do is log on Tuesday during the time period. It'll probably be offered every Tuesday in the month of next month, 4 weeks. So this is something, if you're a baseball fan, you want to jump on. If you're not a T-Mobile subscriber, I don't know why not, because they've got unbelievable deals. But something to think about. If you are a T-Mobile subscriber, grab it. If you're not, call me and we can become a T-Mobile subscriber. Anyhow, I thought that was interesting. Again, we talked about the iPhone dump, the WikiLeaks.
Oh, you know what? Would you? Yeah. I was thinking today. I heard somebody make the comment that WikiLeaks is really not friendly to Americans, is it?
Well, anytime they compromise, our security. I don't think they are, but at the same time, when they're revealing stuff that our country's doing, I'm not going to lend a deaf ear. I'm going to listen.
Oh yeah, I mean, when we found out that they were listening to all of us, I mean, I thought that was kind of important.
Yeah, well, the good news is one of the more well-known iPhone hackers out there says that we have nothing to worry about in that CIA dump because there's nothing in there that threatens the latest iOS.
You know what?
In the iPhone.
And I have nothing to worry about anyway because there's nothing that I'm doing that they're going to be interested in. You know,
me too. I mean, who exactly?
Yeah.
Unless you're a terrorist, I don't know why anybody would worry, but
yeah.
Interesting stuff.
So tell me, I'm dying for you. I'm dying for you to talk about the leaks for the iPhone 8 because you know that I'm really biding my time. That I think that's what my new phone is going to be.
Well, I'll tell you something. I'm starting to lean towards the dark side again, and I haven't had an Android, I guess, since the S3, which is some time ago. I was actually going to get a Note 7 before they started exploding, and that's the only reason I've stayed with the iPhone. And recently, I've been reading terrible stuff about the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus, which I happen to think were some of the better models. But the reality of it is the stability in the software. I don't know if it's a device or the software, but I'm not thrilled about my 6S Plus right now. It's a little buggy, does weird stuff. I'm just reading about all these cool features and functionality on this new S8 and even the S7, and that's what I was going to. Mm-hmm. Right now, there's never been a better time to get an S7, an S7 Edge, an S6 if they're still available. Like the iPhones, when a new model comes out with Samsung, the S8 is coming out in 2 weeks. The S7 is going to drop at least $100. There's going to be great deals on that phone, and it's not new to the industry, but it's new to you.
But how much different will it be, the S7 from the S8?
The S8 is going to be a better...
It's going to be a big difference, right? It's going to have...
Well, there always is a big difference. There's probably going to be wireless charging. There's going to be all kinds of neat stuff on the new device, which probably won't be on the 7. But the point is, if you're using a 3 or a 4... or, a moderate model, not everybody can afford to drop $1,000 for a smartphone.
It's going to be a big jump from the 3 to the 7 is what you're saying.
Yeah, well, that's where we're going now. I mean, look at the price of an iPhone 7 Plus 256 gigabyte device. It's $969 today. Yeah. So if you think that this new iPhone 8 or iPhone edition, whatever they're going to call it, is going to be less than that, it's going to be that or more.
Yeah.
And I understand now they're talking about, here's part of the leak. They're talking about 3 things happening in September. They're talking about doing what they usually do in May, and that's coming out with the S model. So now they're talking about pushing back a little bit and coming out with a 7S, maybe a 7 S Plus, and coming out maybe a few weeks later, late September for the end of the year, with the new 8, which they're rumored to be calling it the iPhone edition, which is the 10th anniversary edition. So that's the model that's supposed to have the new display and all the cool new stuff. I'm not real sure what's going to happen on the other 2, but it looks like there could be 3 models coming.
Wow. So really the reason they're doing that is to multiply their sales, because if they get you into the 7 and you think that, wow, this is terrific, especially if you're going from a 3 or a 4 to a 7 or a 5 to a 7, it's going to be so huge. You'll get that 7, you'll get it discounted, and then the 8's going to come out and you're going to say, geez, I think I just had to spend the extra money.
Yeah, and again, this is going to happen with the iPhones too. Expect a discount very soon on the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus. And I suspect one of the reasons they're coming out with the edition after the 7S series is I don't know that they can get enough of those new OLED displays. That's supposed to be one of the big changes. They're going to this better display that Samsung's used. And I understand that Samsung's like one of the distributors, manufacturers, so I don't think they're giving Apple as many as they need. So that may be why there's going to be multiple models. We'll have to see. But it should be interesting. This is all coming from Ming-Chi Kuo, who is the famous analyst who's always accurate when he predicts his stuff. When I hear stuff from this guy, it's to me, it's as good as gold. So these are his thoughts, and they think, I'm trying to think what else he said, if there was anything other.
So, just hear me out. So if the iPhone 7S is going to be $100 discount, why wouldn't you be better off just spending the extra $100 and getting the state-of-the-art 8?
Well, what they're probably going to do, traditionally it's always gone like this. iPhone 7 comes out, replaces iPhone 6. Mm-hmm. iPhone 6 price drops $100. iPhone 7 takes the price of the previous iPhone 6. So what I think is going to happen is the price point for the basic new iPhones will be $650. You'll be able to get maybe a 7S for $650. You'll be able to get maybe a 7S Plus for $750. And again, this is for 32 gig. You want more, it's going to be more.
Sure.
And then if you want the new one, the edition, the 8, that one could be $900 for 32 gigs. We don't know. But that one could push well over, I'm guessing that one's going to cost well over $1,000 if you want 256 gigs.
You know what's amazing is that the kind of money that they're charging for these phones and the profit margins that they're actually making on them, you'd think they'd get rid of that 32, 36 gig and just start you off with 100 gigs.
Well, they don't want to do that. I mean, Apple's traditionally made a bundle off memory. And Apple looks magnanimous now because they went from 8 to 16. They went from 32 to 64. They went from 64 to 128. They're now offering as much as 256. There's actually a very cool product available for those people that really need memory by SanDisk. And I have it on our website, but it's a flash drive that plugs into a lightning port on an iPhone.
Really?
So you can plug it in and it'll give you 256 gigabytes of memory. You can program it to auto download. Every time you stick it in, you can suck all your photos off your phone if you want, or just duplicate them. But you can conceivably get 512 gigabytes on an iPhone. Granted, it's $200. It's not cheap. It's a dongle that you plug in. It's like a flash drive.
So let me run something by you for a second. When I was when I had my practice before I retired, my whole policy is that I always overbought. I bought computers with more capacity and more speed and more reliability than what I actually needed. I bought servers the same way. I bought phones the same way. I bought everything the same way, more than I really needed. Copy machines, factory, all these things. I tried to buy things that I would never use at their potential, thinking that if I was underusing them, they would always perform well for me and never give me any problems. Would that policy hold true for phones too? I mean, if I bought a 250 gigabyte phone and I never used more than 100 gigabytes, would it actually overperform for me?
Well, I'll tell you something. It's funny you mentioned that because I offer, as you know, cloud phone PBX systems, private branch exchange systems. Mm-hmm. And that industry has gone to what we call UCaaS. It's Unified Communications as a Service. And the difference is in the old days, you had the PBXs in your office. You paid huge money for those. You had to have the service contracts. You had to have the IT genius to be able to figure out how to do anything on it. And today, there are now options where you pay this as a service, meaning you don't have to have equipment in your office. You don't have to have, expensive maintenance contracts. You don't have to have that IT brilliant dude in the office. Mm-hmm. You basically buy the service from the company. You got a guy like Dr. Wireless who's there maybe to integrate it. But the reality is, if you have a problem with your device, you pick up the phone, they come out, they give you a new device. In other words, it's not your problem, it's their problem. You're buying a service. If the service doesn't work, you call them and you tell them to fix it. Almost like having cable TV. You're paying $5 a month for that cable TV router. It breaks. You call them. They come out. They fix it. That doesn't solve the problem. They rewire everything, whatever. But everything is free. You're not paying for it. It's part of the monthly service you pay. Right. So that's where we are going in a lot of areas. Sprint actually went in that direction 2 years ago and is marketing their lease program to businesses. has programs that bundle in an iPhone, and you just you're paying for that phone as a service, X amount of dollars a month. And you want to upgrade, it's just a whole different concept. It's something that us old guys don't understand.
Yeah. So what you're saying, I don't. What you're saying is the memory is no longer on the phone. It's in the cloud.
Doesn't need to be. Exactly. When I got into the industry, the wireless industry in 1990, a company I worked for at the LA Athletic Club had a computer in this office, and they had a whole huge room full of air conditioners to keep the computer cool. Mm-hmm. And the computer was the size of my bedroom almost. It was gigantic. I mean, that was in the infancy of computers. And the reason they were so big is the storage. Yeah. It took a lot of room for storage, and it was expensive for storage. And what's happened now, as you know, is storage has gone from local to cloud.
Yeah.
So people aren't buying, and that's beautiful, and that's how these computers, these Chrome books, I think, or Chromecast, whatever Google came out with. I don't know if you remember, but they blew Microsoft out of the water because Microsoft was selling $600 laptops, and then Google came out with these killer laptops for like $200. And one of the ways that they were able to do that is they totally eliminated storage space on the device, and they gave you storage in the cloud.
Hey, Joel, give out some contact information. We got to take a quick break, and then we'll come back to you.
All right. Everything we're talking about can be found on our website, www.drwireless.com/blog, on our Facebook page, facebook.com/drwireless. And I can be contacted, joel@drwireless.com, for any questions.
And we'll be right back with Dr. Wireless Joel Saltzman after these brief messages. Don't go away. You don't want to miss anything that our good old Dr. Wireless has to say. We'll be right back.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live, and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses: website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:24 p.m. Pacific time. Hey, it's currently 82 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California, on the way down to 50 degrees, it says. If you're listening to our globally syndicated network and you happen to be in Flagstaff, Arizona, well, it's 59 degrees and it's clear. If you happen to be in Cleveland, Ohio, it's 48 degrees and clear. And you know what? There's no clouds over the head of our own Dr. Wireless, Joel Saltzman. We're talking about wireless technology news. Joel, you got the microphone.
I don't know about that. I got a Google cloud over my head right now. I got a Dropbox cloud. I got all kinds of clouds. No, you're right, though. I didn't know. Actually, it's blue skies, beautiful Miami Beach weather today.
Yeah.
Speaking of Miami Beach, my wife just called me from there. She's vacationing, visiting her mom from Paris, who's also in Miami, and they just called me to ask me if the house is still intact. They said there was a 7-point earthquake here. Did you hear anything?
I not only didn't hear it, I must have missed it. It must be my age or something. I didn't feel a thing.
I didn't either. So apparently she's telling me that she wanted to make sure the house was still here for her to come back with. I told her I didn't feel a thing.
No.
So anyhow, if anybody out there heard or felt an earthquake, please let us know. We're clueless.
Oh yeah, geez, I don't know a thing about it.
Anyhow, I have some interesting news. If you recall, Robert, we talked last week about a new program I was starting. I had negotiated for one of my clients.
Oh yeah,
and was able to save him $1,200. Better than the deal that we had gotten him 2 months earlier. So he was very thrilled and had offered to pay me, $200 for doing it, and said, "You should do this." And I explained, well, that's for 20 years. This is what I did for Caltech, UCLA, all the IT directors and telecom managers, and this was my specialty. And in most cases, the carrier paid me for the activations, and sometimes I got some consultation dollars. But he suggested that I change my model, and I thought about it and agreed with him, and I did. I came up with a new program because somebody once referred to what I did as stealing from the rich and giving to the poor. They called me Robin Hood. We're calling this the Dr. Wireless Robin Hood program. I thought that had a nicer ring to it. What do you think?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It is. You know what? I can't think of anybody more qualified than you to pull that kind of a thing off.
Well, here's how I'm envisioning it. You know how you got Lifeline, you got all these companies that monitor your personal information for X amount of time. Well, what I'm doing is I'm offering for $200. I'm going to monitor your wireless plan for 24 months, and it's going to start with a phone call from me, and I will either call in as an authorized dealer, as I am for 3 of the 4 carriers, or I will call in as you with your permission, and I will work over your carrier so hard they'll be dizzy and want to go home after my phone call, and I'll squeeze them for the best possible deal up front. And then I will monitor your rate plan and make sure that for the next 24 months, if a better deal is announced, I will notify you and tell you how to get the new plan. And again, I rolled this out a week ago. I've already done it 3 times. I've saved 3 clients from $600 to $1,200 by acting on their behalf. And here's why this works. There are special rate plans that are available that are called off-sheet retention plans. They're available. I could offer them up front to people, but the problem is I never got paid. I was told by the carriers, you will not get commissioned if you offer these plans. And what that meant is they were typically used for retention. If Robert was going to leave AT&T after 3 years, I could say, look, can we give Robert a little better deal? And they would offer you a rate that's not advertised, a better deal. So I'm aware of these, but again, it took money out of my pocket in the past to offer them. So I really couldn't offer them. Now I can offer that. Now I can call in either as a dealer or, as I mentioned, as you, and get deals that are not available to the public. I know how to get to the retention departments. I know how everything works. I know how far to push them. And I can convince the carriers that you're ready to make a move to their competitor. They don't want to give anything away, but the one thing they hate worse is seeing you go to a competitor. So basically, I'm allowing people to harness my abilities.
And Joel, it can't be any better than that. A guy that really has all of this insight, that knows what to say, when to say, and how to say it. By the way, I got a message in from a listener. There was a 4.0 earthquake in Eureka, California, which is way, way, way up north. And there was also a 3.7% earthquake that was in Gonzales, California, about midway up the state. Nothing down this way, so that's why we didn't feel anything.
Leave it to my wife to add them both up and create a 7. Okay, well, hopefully everybody is okay, and thank you for the listener who called in. Good to know.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so here's why this is significant. As we discussed last week, in October, T-Mobile came out with this great deal. And the great deal was essentially unlimited data. They didn't really advertise that it was standard definition. It was unlimited 4G LTE. Most people don't know standard def, high def. What's the difference? Well, Dr. Wireless knows. The difference was they offered standard def, unlimited data, didn't say anything about it. Sprint met them, didn't say anything about it. And very few people most people thought that what Verizon offered was the same thing that these guys were offering, and it wasn't. Verizon was offering high definition data. As we mentioned, choice steak versus a prime steak. They're both steaks. They're both New York strips. One is better than the other, but most consumers don't know the difference. So we know the difference. Anyhow, so that's what's going on here. So 2 months ago, they offered this plan. They made it better 5 times since then. Now, if you signed up either through me or on your own in October and got this great plan, you're happy as a clam. You don't know anything. You don't know any better. The carrier's not going to call you and say, oh, by the way, Robert, we got a much better deal. Do you want it?
Well, yeah, they're never going to do that. Yeah, they're never going to do that.
So in a nutshell, a lot of changes were made well, as I mentioned, 5 times these plans changed. And what happened is first they introduced this plan. Then, because Verizon introduces a similar plan with the high def, they changed it to high def. Then they added, they're paying the fees and the taxes. Then they added 10 gigs of hotspot. Then they added 2 lines for $100. And then last week, they made it 3 lines for $100, unlimited 4G. So you get the idea. This plan has gotten much better since October. Now, with my program, I'm contacting my clients and telling them, listen, there's a better deal. Here's how we get it. Do you want it? And in this case, $600 to $1,200 savings for the last 3 people I did this for. So anybody with any questions about this can contact me, Joel at drwireless.com. Robert, one of the reasons I did this is many people like yourself who have AT&T have asked me, why don't you support AT&T? How can I get your support, even though I want to stay with AT&T? Well, this is how. I can work over AT&T, and I take great pleasure, trust me, in doing it, calling in on behalf of my customers. I can't call in as a dealer, but I can call in as Robert Cardoza, and trust me,
yeah,
the results are always worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? And last week you actually talked about what you were expecting as a fee for that, which you ought to talk about again. I'm not going to force you into it, but it's really a nominal fee for the savings that people can expect to get as a result of this.
It's ridiculous, Robert, and here's why. I'm charging $200 for this service, and again, my normal minimum labor fee is $100 per hour. So for me to charge $200 for 24 months of monitoring your plan to make sure that you have the best deal, and that includes making phone calls to your carrier on your behalf to get you the best deals, presenting off-sheet pricing and deals that are not available to the public, it's a no-brainer. Yeah. If I can't save you $200, I'll give you the money back. How's that for a guarantee? That's how sure I am of what I'm offering. It's stupid good.
Doesn't get any better than that. Just doesn't.
It really doesn't. It really doesn't. And I know we're going to run out of time as we always do, and I did want to go over a couple of things real quick.
Okay, and then if we have time, because we still have about 3 minutes, if you have time, I'd love you to talk about Ring Central again too.
All right. I would love to talk about them as well. Well, I'm going to do this. Our friends at BGR.com, boygirlrobert.com, are very good analysts in this industry, and they traditionally advertise 10 or 11 paid iPhone applications on sale each week. Earlier this week, they advertised some good ones. The problem with these is they're paid apps that are normally they charge you for, but you can get for free, but they do this for a few days to a week at a time. So by the time you click on these apps, if they say there's a cost, don't click. If they're still free, get them. So I posted this on our website, on our Facebook.com/DR Wireless, or you can go to BGR. But some of these that were impressive, there's one called Music Player Pro, normally 99 cents. The one that I want to try is a $7.99 normally. Wow. And it is, I'm just looking for it because I closed the page by mistake. What did I do with it? There was two of them that looked really interesting. One of them allowed you to edit video.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I closed the page. Darn it. I have it on our Facebook page. So it's the 11 top iPhone apps, and take a good look at all of them. But one of them had to do with video editing. Looked like a good deal. There's a $19.99 one called I think it was VisiWig, and let's see, that one. It's a movie-making application for iPhones, iPads, and iPods. And traditionally $20, it's free. It's called VIZZY Wig. So that's something worth looking at.
And most of us all have our iPhones with us now, or an iPad with us now. And the truth is that that has become our camera of choice, whether it be for photos or for videos. And there are so many programs now that you can get to have your own in-home studios and things using iPads and iPhones that you can get.
And iMovie and lots of good stuff.
Absolutely. So if you've got this editing programs, you can really put together some quality stuff, even if it's just for home use.
That's true. And a little about Ring Central before we run out of time. That is one of my most popular solutions, one of the best kept secrets out there. And the reason it's so awesome, it's all about perception. And people with small businesses want to look like they're larger. They want to be more efficient. And Ring Central gives your business the appearance that you're a Fortune 500 company with the auto attendant and the dial directory and the music on hold and the system that finds you, and it'll ring your cell phone simultaneously, and it'll allow you to do screen sharing and meetings and all kinds of great functionality. But the beauty of this is we offer these services for less than you pay for a typical plain old telephone system. So anybody wanting information on this, if they click on our front page, www.drwireless.com, they'll see a little Ring Central icon they can click on and get more information. But wonderful system. The other thing they can do, they can call 310-540-6480 during business hours and hear the system in action.
And that'll go through one of your multiple secretaries that you have on staff there, right?
That's right. And you can call the service department, you can call the activation department, you can call 5 different departments, and yours truly is going to answer the phone. Don't tell anybody.
Hey, Joel, you have a great weekend. Don't forget to get your feet wet as often as you can, or at least dip those toes in, and stay safe and make everybody around you happy.
Likewise, Robert. Enjoy.
All right, take care. And the rest of you folks, stick around, because when we come back, we're going to be doing the birthdays for the day, the secret daily teaching for your life, and interesting but useless facts. We'll be right back with a lot more show right after these words.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. You know, nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, you know Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:42 p.m. Pacific time. Currently 82 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. It's down from 90, it says now, on its way to 50 degrees. If you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you're in Madrid, Spain, well, it's 48 degrees and it's clear. And if you're in Tokyo, Japan, listening to our show, it's 46 degrees and it's clear. Can't get much better than that. But right now, I want to talk to you about the secret daily teaching for your life. You know, this is all about a positive mental attitude. You decide if you're going to be rich, poor, if you're going to be a success or a failure, if you're going to be happy or sad. You even decide how the people around you are going to be. It's all about that positive mental attitude. When you get up in the morning, you look in the mirror and say, wow, I'm going to have a fantastic, magnificent, profitable, productive day today. You decide. Well, the teaching for today is everything you want is an inside job. The outside world is the world of effects. It's just the result of thoughts. Set your thoughts and frequency on happiness. Radiate the feelings of happiness and joy within you and transmit that into the universe with all of your might, and you'll experience true heaven on earth. It's true. You just have to believe it. You just have to think it. That's the way, folks. Now, you know what today is. We all do. It is March the 8th, and it is somebody's birthday. Yes, sir. You know what? We actually have a number of really great birthdays today, so we might as well just get right on them and let you know what they are. Here's a fellow who was born in 1927, a pianist and composer, best known for his versatility with jazz piano styles. Happy birthday, Dick Hyman. And here's somebody that a lot of us know. Born in 1976, an actor, rose to fame during the late 1990s and early 2000s after starring in several Hollywood films aimed at teenage audiences. Happy birthday, Freddie Prinze Jr. And finally, born in 1982, tattoo artist and TV star. She best known for her work as a featured tattoo artist on Miami Ink. Happy birthday, Kat Von D. Yes, sir. Well, if you ever wonder what was going on today in history, you need to ask no more, because I'm about to tell you. Sit down in your favorite chair, grab a cocktail, and listen to this. On March the 8th, 1930, Mahatma Gandhi starts a civil disobedience in India. And on this date in 1971, Joe Frazier becomes the undisputed world heavyweight boxing champion by winning a unanimous 15-round decision over Muhammad Ali at Madison Square Garden in New York City. And finally, on this date in 1979, Philips demonstrates compact disc publicly for the very first time. Compact disc, CDs. Yep, that's what that is. Well, our quote for today comes from Lawana Blackwell. Lawana says, patterning your life around others' opinions is nothing more than slavery. Think about it. Not too far off, is it? No. Well, you know what? Let's talk about some interesting but useless facts. You know, on average, we send 38 Christmas cards every year. 38. How many do you receive? We know how many you send. How about this? Did you know that 9% of people skip breakfast every day? Well, I want to tell you, not me. Breakfast is one of my big meals, and I generally have a decent lunch, and I'll have a snack or something for dinner, but I don't have a big dinner unless it's a weekend. Then I skip my lunch. I always have that breakfast, but I'll skip my lunch, and I'll have a nice dinner with my wife, or we'll go out with friends, stuff like that. That's how we do it. But breakfast, generally always have breakfast. Sometimes I don't. If I'm in Las Vegas and I don't get into my room till the wee hours, it might wind up being a lunch. Anyway, you know, the technical term for a cat's hairball is a bezor. Yeah, bezor for hairball. You know, the Bible does not specify exactly how many wise men were sent to Bethlehem. I'm beginning to wonder how many wise men we have in Washington, D.C. today. Well, that's another subject, isn't it? Did you know that adult leopards are solitary animals? Each adult leopard has its own territory where it lives, and although they often share parts of it, they try to avoid one another. Yeah, they just stake out their own spot. How about this? You know, it takes about 48 hours for your body to completely digest the food from one meal. 48 hours. Give that some thought. Holy mackerel. So if you eat too much, you could be overtaxing that body of yours. How about this one? Well-trained ponies are good for children while they are learning to ride. That seems obvious, doesn't it? Yeah. Try this on for size. On average, there are 178 sesame seeds on each McDonald's Big Mac bun. Now, you got to ask yourself, who on earth is counting all those sesame seeds? And is it a machine that is actually doing that? Good Lord. How about this? If all numbers are arranged in alphabetical order, 8 would be the first number, 0 would be the last number. Interesting, I guess, if you think about it. Who cares? Try this on for size. The wife of the poet Percy Bysshe Shelley was the creator of the Frankenstein story. Now, Mary Wollstonecraft Shelley wrote the book Frankenstein in 1818, basing it on the writings of certain alchemists who claimed to have created a tiny human being called a homunculus in a test tube. Man, if you can't pronounce it, you shouldn't even be saying that, I guess. How about this? Kissing an infection-free partner is good for your teeth. All right, I got to talk to my wife when she gets home this evening. Let me leave you with this. The dye used to stamp the grade on meat is edible. It's made from grape skins. And now, the rest of that one. You know what? We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to do our tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey and the rest of the story. And as I said, today's story is Stairway to Heaven. You're not going to want to miss it. It is a terrific story. So we'll be right back, folks. Don't you dare go away.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39. A complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:53 p.m. Pacific time. Hey, still 82 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Now it says it's going down to 46 degrees. I don't think they know what the heck's going on. If you're listening to us on our globally syndicated network and you're in Sydney, Australia, it's 72 degrees and mostly cloudy. And if you're in Auckland, New Zealand, you're listening to our show, it's 72 degrees and it's raining. But right now, time for us to do our tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey and the rest of the story. Yes, sir. You know what? The American Broadcasting Company called him the biggest voice in America. He's Paul Harvey, and each week, millions of listeners, viewers, and readers awaited his unraveling of the mysteries of events in the lives of people past and present. He was heard on over 1,400 radio stations, seen on 110 television stations, and read in over 300 newspapers. The rest of the story has, for years, been exploring the byways of history with revelations that are intriguing, amusing, and surprising. And today's story? Well, Stairway to Heaven. You know, a block south of La Fonda Hotel in Santa Fe, New Mexico, on the corner of Water Street and Old Santa Fe Trail, there's an iron-fenced courtyard. Open the gate, pass through the courtyard, enter the Gothic chapel, and when your eyes adjust to the candlelight, you will not believe what they see. No one does. 127 years ago, in the fall of 1852, the Roman Catholic Sisters of Loretto left Kentucky and crossed the continent to establish a convent in the southwestern desert. The ancient village to which they traveled, founded by the Spanish in 1610, was known as the City of the Holy Faith. Today, La Villa de la Santa Fe is Santa Fe, New Mexico. Some 2 decades after the sisters arrived, Mexican carpenters began to construct a chapel for them. It was to be patterned after the Saint Chapelle in Paris, Gothic in architecture, with a choir loft at the rear. Construction started in July of 1873. 5 years later, Loretto Chapel was completed. Almost. The chapel sanctuary was magnificent, including the choir loft, but there was no way to get from one to the other. The builders, confounded by the architectural dilemma of rising so high in so small a space, had omitted a stairway. Their ladder, while adequate for workmen, was both unbecoming and hazardous for the sisters and the singers. In the years that followed, many carpenters were consulted. All gave the same answer. A conventional stairway to the choir loft would take up too much room in the chapel below. The Sisters of Loretto who had traveled thousands of miles to establish their convent, in the face of what appeared to be their first insurmountable difficulty, took their problem to their knees. A novena to St. Joseph. It was on the 9th day, the last day of the novena, that the gray-haired man leading a donkey and carrying a tool chest came to town and stopped at the convent academy. To the Mother Superior, the old man said that he had learned of their problem, that they needed a stairway to their chapel choir loft. Perhaps he could help. He was welcome to try, the Mother Superior said. Using only the crudest tools, the old man went to work. He was 8 months painstakingly applying his obvious skill in his primitive tools. And then one morning, the Mother Superior awakened to find the job completed and the carpenter gone. As the sisters congregated in the chapel that morning, each stood silent and wide-eyed before an incredible masterwork. The staircase was a narrow, graceful spiral of 33 steps, 2 complete 360-degree turns, no banister, no center support, precision fit, meticulously held together with barely perceptible wooden pegs, richly polished, a spiral that was beautiful to the point of seeming alive. But where was the carpenter? He had not yet been paid for his work and was nowhere to be found, nor had the local lumber supplier any record of wood having been purchased for the project. Builders and engineers who have examined the staircase affirm that its full weight appears to rest on its base. Structurally, it should have collapsed the first time it was used, yet it has been used every day for 100 years. And here is a strange, though it was built on the spot, the unidentified hardwood, whatever it is from nowhere near New Mexico. Although the present-day Sisters of Loretto are resident, to be specific, they are satisfied that the gray-haired carpenter who came to town one day a century ago, whoever he was, came in answer to their prayers to the patron saint of carpenters, and that his stairway, in one way, does not end at the choir loft, but leads beyond the stars. And now you know the rest of the story. Yeah. Isn't that magnificent? Sends chills up your spines. Don't forget, our next story is going to be The Escapist. You're not going to want to miss that either. And then on my next show, Sean LaFave and I are going to be talking about healthcare on the Geared for Wellness Corner. I'm going to continue our tribute to the late, great Paul Harvey in the rest of the story, and I'm going to ask you to please tell all your friends to listen to our show here on the RLC Broadcasting Network. You know what? They'll be glad you did. You'll be glad you did, and I promise you, I'll be glad you did.
That's our show for today. Beginning today, treat everyone you meet as if they were going to be dead by midnight. Extend them all the care, kindness, and understanding that you can muster. Your life will never be the same again. So many of our dreams at first seem impossible, then they seem improbable, and then when we summon the will, they soon become inevitable. You know, the real secret of happiness is to make others believe that they're the cause of it. Robert Cardoza Live is brought to you by blogtalkradio.com every Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Now, go out and make it a great day. Your host has been Robert Cardoza, the technical advisor, Matchstick Digital, and your executive producer, also Robert Cardoza.